morning and happy Tuesday, Wednesday. Anybody else like me, you've got no idea what day it is. So we did a 24-hour fast from Monday at 5 p.m. until Tuesday at 5 p.m. There was quite a few of us got involved and we all did it in different ways to different degrees. I did a dry fast and then a coffee enema, and then I got cold for 5 minutes this morning. I feel really great. But somebody sent me this question, which it was the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the gut, the ego, the heart, so many bits of me. How do I know which one is doing the talking and which one I should be listening to? Now, is that not just the most brilliant question? Because sometimes I think, why is everybody not letting go every day when it sets you so, it just makes you feel so amazing, more connected, everything's a lot more wonderful and magical. And then I thought, maybe I'm not really explaining it or teaching it well enough. So when I got this question in this morning, I said, you know what, I'm going to do a live on this so that I can really break it down and help people to understand exactly how to listen, because this is all about a revolutionary new way to see your body. That you have, what I'm telling you is, and what the Heal Scotland movement is about, is to really help you to understand how incredibly powerful you are and how the body is communicating with you all the time, but we've just never ever been taught the language, because the language doesn't come in words. Sometimes you'll hear things, but mainly it's coming through feelings. And it's just the most exciting, incredible relationship I think you can probably ever have, is the relationship with the body, when you start to really understand how sacred it is, how exciting it is, and how it can guide you where you need to go. Because there's so many people giving us lots of information nowadays from their experience, and what really needs to happen is that we listen into what we are being guided to hear. And again, bang on about Kelly Turner's new book, Radical Hope. It has just refreshed my memory as to how incredible the human body is. And despite being told sometimes over and over again, you're terminal, you've got no chance, some people just manage to go inside and take another path. That's what radical remissions are. It's all these people that have been told they were going to die, but they didn't. And I'm going to make a list of them for you. Anyway, let's get to the question. So let's start with the conscious and the unconscious mind. So the conscious mind is the one that we're hearing. It's the one that makes the goals. I am going to lose weight. I am going to heal myself. I am going to meet the man, woman, partner of my dreams. I am going to make more money. That's the conscious mind helping us to articulate our desires. Then we have the subconscious mind, where all the programs, think of it quite simply like the hard drive of your computer. What is in there? So the programming since we were born, conceived actually, all the programming that has been given to us, usually with the kindest intentions, and at its best with very unconscious attention and intention. So here we are, programmed. We've picked up lots of stuff from our parents, our siblings, our schools, our friends, our culture, the internet. So we're programmed to be who we are, all the experiences that we've had in life, and also a lot of ancestral stuff has come in. So if you're saying, I am going to lose weight, but your subconscious mind's like, no, but this is what we eat, this is what we do, this is how we react and respond to emotional and external circumstances, then your conscious mind saying one thing and your unconscious mind is literally saying the complete opposite. So you have a conflict there. So that is where the letting go comes in, so that you can bring the two minds into alignment. So that's the conscious versus the unconscious mind. If you can, feel free to drop me questions if you want, if I'm not explaining it really clearly for you. So another example is if you are, let's talk about healing. I teach people to believe that they can heal if they're in a state of deep fear, I will help them to realise that there's a potential for healing. No matter how far away that potential may feel at first, there is a potential in the field for you to heal, no matter how many points of view you've been given to the contrary. Okay? So I will get my clients to say, I am healing. And I'll get them to tap in with how that feels in this moment. And if you've been given a terminal or incurable prognosis, that will feel really, really, one mind is here and the other mind is there. So either you believe you're healing or you believe you're dying much sooner than you anticipated. That's the two opposing beliefs. So when we work with letting go and consciously using our words and our feelings, etc., and rewiring and firing the brain towards the best case scenario, that is how we come into alignment until eventually at some point we know that we are healing. Hi Christine. So I hope that's clear. What you want and what is vibrating in the subconscious. So you are now bringing your two minds into alignment by letting go of all the old programs, all the old fears, all your old experiences, and you're taking the mind via your words, your thoughts and your feelings to your best case scenario, whether that's about your health, your wealth or your relationships. Okay? I hope that's clear. Keep the messages coming in and let me know if I am explaining this clearly enough for you. I'm going to refresh this to make sure. Great information. Thanks, Lorna. Good to see you. Okay, so that's the conscious and the subconscious mind. Hugely, hugely important for getting what you want. The subconscious is the conscious is the tip of the iceberg, and the subconscious is everything that's submerged underneath that we've not got a clue about. And let me tell you one thing that you must know. Very often we think there's big traumatic things that have happened in our past that we can remember like this because they've been so painful. And we assume that what we're vibrating out has been caused by these big things, but very often it's been caused by something that maybe didn't even happen. We perceived it to happen. So when you start going into the subconscious, always stay open to what's coming up, what is actually showing up to be released, because your conscious mind will try and overtake your subconscious. And in the work that I do and a lot of my friends do, you have to get your conscious mind out the road and allow the subconscious to express what it needs to express at the time it wants to express it. And that is hugely, hugely important, particularly when you do the emotion codes. We do it telepathically, which may sound mad to some people, but when you understand the transfer of information, which is all that we're doing, is we're transferring information, then that transfer of information from the subconscious can get blocked by the conscious and vice versa. So we have to let go and just listen in and trust. And when your cells are in that harmonic, aligned state, that process can happen like this. So that's the conscious and the subconscious. Now let's go to the gut, the ego and the heart. Brilliant, brilliant question. Now what we know right now is that, I don't know, they say 80%, I would say 100% of people have compromised gut health. And if you're suffering from anxiety, depression, panic attacks, fatigue, the first thing I'll think about is your gut health. And trust me that most people have, at very least, a compromised gut to a downright destroyed gut health. If your gut is literally eating you from the inside out via bacteria, parasites, fungus, imbalances, your body will be experiencing fear. It'll be telling you something's wrong, something's wrong. When you get the belief or the feeling that something's wrong, you look out there to see what's causing it. In comes your partner, blame. In comes your work colleague, blame. In comes your kids, blame. We look out there and we see through this contracted state and we start to blame the things out there for how we are feeling. And it may be because your gut is screaming at you. So it's very, very important to have your gut balanced. Fasting will bring that into alignment really quickly. So if your gut is stressed, you'll be getting the message something's wrong. And when you get the message something's wrong or something needs your attention, you're probably looking out there for it instead of looking in here. So your gut can be telling you the truth, but you may be translating the information or projecting the reason for it in the wrong place. So that's why it's so important. We know now from fecal transplants and all these sort of psychobacteria things that they're doing to change your personality by changing the gut biome and the bacteria and the bowel. It is unbelievable the difference it makes when your farm is balanced or imbalanced. It can literally change you as a person, and it is hugely important to know about this if you're struggling with mental ill health or any disease. It's all the same thing as far as I'm concerned, but some people exhibit it much more physically than emotionally. Some people do both. Defo think my gut is stressed, always tense. Yes, and knots. So that's a great one, thanks Ange. If you are in a permanent state of stress, it may be your gut, and there's a very simple way to test for that. Spit in a glass of water as soon as you open your eyes in the morning before you put anything in your body, and look and see what it does. I'll post a link. Do that for 6 days in a row and you'll start to see, depending on what the saliva does, you'll start to see how your gut is, how the health of your gut. But the other thing is, of course, we kind of programmed ourselves for stress. We are addicted to the hormones of stress and to what we know. So it may just be a habit of the worst case scenario. And of course, you teach your body that often enough consciously, it'll do it subconsciously without you having to be there. It will just automatically go into fear state. So always check the gut, because you can rebalance your gut very quickly. Again, I'll put some links to that. There's different ways to do it. Some that may be palatable for you, some maybe not so much. What I do is fasting, turpentine, coffee enemas, and sometimes I put some supplements, but that's my 3 main protocols for balancing my gut, because I have had candida very badly in the past, and if I take my eye off the ball, it comes back. So that's how I sort it out in a few days. But if you've just trained yourself to be a worrier, like I am a worrier, or you've inherited that usually from a mum, maybe a dad, or somebody else in your family. If you've trained yourself to be it's just simply how we learn to do things as we practice it consciously. So for example, you start maybe learning the scales on the piano, and you have to, or driving is another one that probably more people be familiar with. You start doing that over and over again, and then eventually it seeps in, you embody it, and you can do it without thinking. That's when it becomes a habit. So a lot of us have done that unintentionally with worrying. So we just feel, and there's a limiting belief that says, well, if we worry about it, we're a good parent. If we worry about it, we're a good sister, brother, mother, whatever. That worrying actually makes us, it's a sign that we care. And there is an element of truth in that, but what actually happens is when we go into fear state, think about the cells, we're into fear and the cells start to darken and contract. What starts to happen is when we look out through that fear, all we can see everywhere we turn is problems. And then when we let the fear go, suddenly, and the cells expand and lighten, suddenly we start to see solutions. So you're either problem focused or solution orientated. And right now I think it's incredible to watch how some people are in fear and some people are like, bring this on, I'm getting a rest, I'm excited about what's about to unfold. And that's the 2 things that you can do. You can either be terrified about what's going on right now, or you can be excited. And neither of these things are wrong. The reason you're feeling terrified or excited is just really because of probably the level of education you've had around all this stuff. Your default system, I'm a worrier, what's the point in worrying? It's all about our conditioning. Everything is getting filtered through this thing we call the body, our subconscious, and we're looking out through emotion. And when we look out through emotion, depending on what emotion you've got in your body, is what you will see, what you will think, what you will feel. And that's why letting go is so, so, so important. So your gut can be giving you valuable information, and if you feel fear coming in, the way to differentiate between intuition and programming, because some people will, say, oh, I'm too scared to breathe, for example. I've seen with my own two eyes people who are too scared to take deep breaths. This is true. This is the amount of fear that some of us have. So if you're too scared to breathe deeply, is that your intuition or is that your programming and your past experiences? Well, I think it's obvious that it's about the past, and most of us are living through our past. So when you tap or welcome and release or question the validity of what you're believing, it's unsafe for me to breathe, when you break all that down and you start to breathe deeply, you will start to tap into your intuition and you'll realise that the fear wasn't real. If the fear was real, all that would happen when you let go is that your intuition, the message would get louder and louder and louder. And if you've been unlucky enough to have been diagnosed with a terminal disease, the chances are that fear has flooded your body and you you just don't know what's right and what's wrong, what information is right for you. Read Kelly Turner's new book, Radical Hope. What happens when you can actually allow the fear to dissolve and evaporate? You can listen to your internal guidance system, because survival is something that we are absolutely wired for. The reason I'm still alive means the body is incredible what it can do. So your gut instinct or past programming, release, release, release. Make sure that you've balanced your gut biome and it's not screaming at you for help. And then you'll know whether that is your intuition or whether it's the past. Now the heart, oh my God, the most incredible organ. I was laughing the other day at a TED talk that said the heart's more than just a pump, and I thought, my God, does anybody actually still think that's all the heart is in this day and age of so much information about the power of our hearts? It's a phenomenal organ. It connects us to each other, it connects us to source, whatever you believe that to be. It is giving us valuable information moment to moment. It's just quite incredible. It's thousands, they say 50,000 times more powerful than your mouth, than your conscious mind. They can measure the emotions that we're giving off. Heart math, a phenomenal. If you've not heard of it, look it up on YouTube. The vibration, quite literally, that comes from the magnetic resonance of our emotions can be measured up to 12 meters. Well, last time I heard. So when you have a powerful feeling, and we all know this, somebody walks into a room in brilliant form and you start to feel better. Because we're connected, right? Somebody comes in the opposite way, down and negative and terrified and wanting to tell you about all the horrible, evil things in the world. Suddenly your cells are like, oh, there's trouble here. So the vibration, the emotion that you're giving off is being felt by all the people in your room in your lockdown, your cellmates, as I like to call them. Our brains literally entrain with each other and our hearts go into coherence. And that's why these mass meditations that people like Joe Dispenza and Lynn McTaggart do are so powerful, because every cell that we possess, 80 trillion or so of them, is like a little battery. And when you start to really allow the information flow to all your cells and it resonates out, and with permission, we can all come together and literally make a power grid. And then all the concepts and labels, and I have to mention Hale Dwoskin here, it was him that taught me to let go of all concepts and labels. They're all man-made. What you think is true right now may not be. It may be, it may not be. We have to go inside and find our own truth. And that might be a big stretch for some people if you don't understand it's different data streams of information. There are data streams of information that come from a place that I don't know where they come from, that we can choose to tune into or tune out of. But what happens is with the belief systems, we're tuning into people who believe the same stuff as us. And why do we do that? Because it makes us feel safe. And in actual fact, to move out of the collective belief system can be scary. And you know that right now a lot of people are scared to speak their truth. But trust me, we're all going to have to do that. So your heart, our hearts are the most powerful organ in our bodies. They never lie to us. It's impossible for it to lie. When we feel a feeling based on the concepts we have, let me talk about death, the concepts around death, which is really the two big fears, the fear of the unknown and the fear of death. That will come in and you will feel it in your heart, but the same thing applies with your gut. Feel it and let it go. Feel it and let it go. It's just the past coming up and saying, this, the heart's trying to protect you. It comes in and it goes, whoa, last time we drove here, we had an accident. Watch out. So it's got a brilliant warning system. But unfortunately now, because there's so much fear around for us, we've had so many experiences because we've been so lucky to live on the planet at the time we lived, and we all experienced amazing things that our ancestors never got the opportunity to. But the downside of that is we've got a lot more programming in our subconscious because of all the experiences we've had, and we've judged good and bad. So now we're like that. We've got a whole load of crap in this hard drive we call the subconscious mind, which is your body. And that's why we know when you experience dis-ease, you have to let go. You have to. And will you want to? Probably not. Because looking at the past can appear to be very, very painful. And a lot of people have had horrific things happen to them, and I totally understand why you wouldn't want to go there. But you just need to do it for a few seconds. Bring it in, and you're unhooking that electrical current, which is like a lightning strike of pain. You can let it go in a second. Don't believe me? Try it. Now is a time where the energy, the frequency of the Schumann resonance is fluctuating and changing as whatever the hell's going on planetary wise. We are now able to let go of things that we wouldn't have dreamt of 5 years ago. The truth is coming out. Secrets that have been pushed down and squashed, and our voice not being heard. We can't do that any longer. We need to free up this energy mass that we are. We need to let go of everything that no longer serves us. We need to break through all the limitation of the mind, the conscious mind that says, you can't do that, you're not good enough, you're not lovable, you're not this, you're not that. We need to break through all of that. We are unbelievably powerful. We're energy, for God's sake. Pure consciousness and energy. And now we're all sitting in our house going, what have we been doing? I'm living with my mum now. Very, very clearly, she's 88 this year, you start to realise you are going to die or change form. What have we done? You know, what would happen if today was your last day? Can you look back in your life and be truly, truly proud and grateful for everything? Or have you been waiting until certain things were in place? I know I've waited a lot of my life. I wish I knew now, then, what I know now. So we're getting this time to really, really reevaluate and to change the connection with the body. Back to the question. So conscious, subconscious mind, gut and heart. The heart-brain gut connection, which everybody knows about now. And the ego. Let's talk about the ego. So the ego likes to be right. Okay? So if you're saying I'm right and they're wrong, that's the ego. And when you start tapping on your egoic responses and reactions, the ego will react rather than respond. And when you're learning to do this, and don't get me wrong, I ain't no expert, I still react. But I'm practicing non-reaction, observing, trying to get the bigger picture, and then having a response as opposed to wanting to punch somebody's lights out, which would definitely have been my reaction before. Block them, tell them to F off, never speak to them again. It's much easier that way, but that is not the way we can do it now. We have all these opposing belief systems that everybody's having, and we all have to live together. And there has never been a more powerful time for us to pull together and to feel the feelings of love, and to remember that everybody is struggling, everybody's scared, and don't take it personally. So your ego will be telling you and want to be right, your ego want to justify your position. your heart will just be like, it's all fine. Just wait. Let it all unfold. Decide what you're going to do afterwards. So your ego will want to be right, and your heart will just say, just observe and let me take action when the time is right. And you'll know that the more you let go of the concepts and the labels and the programming and the fear, the more you will tap into exactly what is right for you and for your family. So I hope that I've actually explained that well. Somebody's put turpentine ? Let me just talk briefly about turpentine before I finish. If anybody's got any questions, then fire them in. Turpentine is the essential oil from the pine tree, quite simply. And it's been a very powerful protocol that we used in the healing community last year as well. And it helps to, it's a parasite cleanse, basically. And when you live in countries where you live more outside, people understand that parasites get into the body and we cleanse them out. And what you do is you drip the turpentine into sugar cubes, and the sugar cubes attracts the mites out and the turps kills it, and you need to make sure that your bowels are moving well, and you just rebalance the gut biome. Now, you go on, Dr. Jennifer Daniels, who has really brought this to the attention of the masses. Turpentine was actually in the Merck manual in the 1800s as a cure for everything, and they took it out, of course. How could they control us if they don't keep away the education and the information? So suffering from candida and all these elimination diets, etc., I was drawn to the turpentine protocol. I use it myself. I'm not saying you have to use it or should use it. What I'm saying is educate yourself and tap into your body and see if it's the right thing for you. It always astounds me that when I put up natural healing protocols, everybody comes in and says, that could be dangerous, that could be dangerous. There's a lot of things could be dangerous out there. A lot of allopathic treatments could be dangerous. There is a risk in life. It's when we get into a car, there's a risk. What I'm saying to you is these are the protocols I use, we used in the community, we saw healing happen with. You tune into your intelligence and decide whether it's right for you. It is not up to me to scare you or put you off or to tell you to do it. That is up to you to take responsibility, and the Heal Scotland movement is very much about that. You have to take back your power. You are powerful beyond belief, and you've been led to believe that you're not. So until you're ready to do that, then perhaps these protocols are not for you. A lot of people will not sit and watch a 3-hour video to learn stuff. I get that. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. But right now you've got the opportunity to learn. What more important thing to learn than how to work your body, how to fly this spaceship, how to heal yourself? I mean, really, seriously, is there anything more important than that? Hi, Christine. Yeah, so I'll put some links down below this for you. It's all on the Help Yourself website. All the protocols we used at the community, the profound healings that we saw, take out all the moaning and groaning and resistance. We just did a very simple day of protocols, and my point is, it's the things you do every day that get you well or get you sick. It's not rocket science. You just need to find the things and then do them. And don't lie to me or anyone else. Just do them day after day after day after day, and eventually, just like learning to play the piano or learning to drive, you will embody that and you will be that. It's obvious, isn't it? Has anybody got any more questions before I sign myself off? I hope I've answered that question. Angela, do you feel I've answered your question? Your brilliant question. Thank you. That's great. So, yeah, let me just recap. Conscious, subconscious. Conscious is the one that's telling you what you want. The subconscious is the thing that could be holding you back. Get in there and let go of the past in all its shape or form. Your heart is the most powerful, incredible organ. It knows stuff before your brain. It feeds the information to your brain. So there's invisible stuff going on that you can't see or understand. Your gut will give you information, but it could be giving you information about the past rather than about projecting into an exciting future. So you need to make sure your gut The gut-heart-brain connection is the information's flowing perfectly, it's healthy, it's vital, and it's serving you. And then you can trust, and you don't need to go out there for anything or anyone. So I think that's us. Yeah, I think that's all the questions. Yeah, if anybody needs any help, ping me a message. More than happy to help. This is a time where I believe we can stand in our power, but we need to stand together. No fighting with your neighbours or anybody, because we're connected. And if you fight with somebody else, you're fighting with yourselves. Yourselves don't know the difference. The cells only know what is. So, huge gratitude for all your comments and for everybody tuning in. Have a great day. Chat soon. Ciao.